Hello and welcome. This is the June review for Lifecycle Marketing. So you'll be hearing from Luis and Ali, who are on our Lifecycle Marketing team. And just as a reminder, some of the things that we're focused on as a team is strategizing, executing, and optimizing a data-driven user lifecycle communication strategy, but also on top of that, everything email. So we're focused very heavily on supporting lightning strike moments that are run most heavily by the corporate marketing and the product marketing team. But again, everything email and everything that's contributing to new first order logo acquisition is what we're focused on. We'll talk through project progress and updates from June, looking ahead to the next month, July, or things that are in progress for this month, and then a look at June email performance. Some key projects from June are lightning strike support for the open source summit and GitLab 15, which Ali and Luis will be speaking about, and then improvements in the intelligent nurture. So without further ado, I'll pass it over to Luis to talk through the open source summit promotion.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jackie. So once again, we were able to work together with corporate team to promote this new event that we have in June. The Open Source Summit promotion. We built an email invitation for that specific event, plus a follow-up email as well, using a larger audience for this specific event. As you can see, over 10,000 people were sent this email through, and we ended up having a 17% of open rate, which is really good compared to what we used to have on our last main event for corporate team. And we also have ended up having like a very low unsubscribe rate, which is also really good to have in this specific scenarios. Areas of improvements will be definitely to work hand in hand with the corporate team to make sure that we do have like all the assets right on time, so we can schedule the emails to go exactly at the time that we want to. So that's one of the things that we are continue working, so we can have like a better performance in terms of the delivery when we want to send the emails out.
Great, thanks, Luis. And over to Ali to speak to the GitLab 15 promotion.
Thank you. So I spoke a little bit about the GitLab 15 promotion in our last update. So this update is actually following the event, which happened at the end of June. So for the event, we had over 5,000 registrants, which is at around 253% of our goal. And it was super exciting that email drove 73% of the registrants that we had tracking for. So clearly those are some of the highlights, but in terms of what went well is that our open rates were super high and our unsubscribe rates across all emails were relatively low. The open rates were around 37%, with the GitLab average being 23%. We had a lower click rate than expected, especially after the first few sends. So we looked to try to reduce the audience size and make some of the later emails a bit more engaging. We also had a lower reg to attendee ratio. So it could have been that we started promotion a bit too early. We could also add in additional registrant reminder or excitement emails. We're going to continue to promote the event heavily on demand after, but I will talk to a bit of how the follow-ups did as well. So in terms of the follow-ups, it's pretty hard to compare apples to apples with our typical promotional emails. So follow-ups are basically just to people who already wanted to see this content. So they're typically going to be higher performance. But that being said, these are pretty high performing emails for both attendees and no-shows, for both open rates and click rates. In terms of where we can continue to improve, so there were some email callouts that were built into the event. So we want to make sure that we have those CTAs aligned well before the event rather than at the last minute. And so we're working through some processes to try to improve that. And I think we can also try to personalize our follow-ups a little bit more. So having some dynamic content added in for our different audience segments.
Great. Thanks, Sally. And thank you, Luis. So just a quick look at some of the second half of the year lightning strike support that we'll be doing is commit. So we have New York, London, and virtual, and then corporate events that are taking place in Q3 and Q4. There's a couple here, but we'll be filling those out as we have additional sponsorships. And we'll really need to sit down as a team and think about all the communications going out to our database and what we need to maybe bundle together or what we need to pull back a bit more on. So that's a conversation that we'll be having more heavily with corporate marketing as we get closer to those events. And then in addition, the Q3 security and compliance push and the free user go-to-market rollout. All right, and over to Luis to give an update on the intelligent nurture.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Once again, we were able to continue giving efforts and helping the field marketing team in this case to promote different virtual events that they were building and having into the intelligent nurture. So as you can see, over 7 different assets that were promoted inside intelligent nurture for June specifically. Most of them were for field marketing. Some of them are specific new content, like a new ebook to achieve DevOps, SecOps with GitLab, CI/CD, and what I can tell you is most of these virtual events that we added in June were at full capacity thanks to the intelligent nurture. So that's also really good that we're doing and accomplish with the intelligent nurture. Moving forward, content to be added in the intelligent nurture in July. One of the biggest shout outs that we have is the GitLab 15. So I wanted to thank Ali for putting all this together, all this content together into all these emails, and because we were able to add a lot of content for the GitLab 15 inside all the nurtures and all the streams that we have inside Intelligent Nurture. So that was really, really good to have for this specific month. And as well, we, as you can see, have over 9 assets being added to the Intelligent Nurture as well. As also, we know that by the end of this week and the next, like the last week of July, we're also going to add like more content into the Intelligent Nurture, again, giving support to the field marketing team and some other teammates to add new content to the Intelligent Nurture.
Great, thank you, Luis. And to close things up, we'll look to June email performance. So kicking it over to Ali.
Cool, thank you. So in terms of our email performance for June, our delivery rate improved month over month, but we can continue to improve that. Our open rates did decline a little bit month over month, but stayed above our typical benchmarks. Our click rates are close to target, but still below. We think we can still do better, as I mentioned in our last presentation. So we're A/B testing our emails to improve our open rates, and also testing our content within the emails to improve our click rates. But I have some more ideas on how we can continue to improve our click rates, which I can share within the next slide. So a little bit about how I pulled this together. So I took a look at all emails that went out in June and looked to see for the emails that sent to over 1,000 people, what had pretty high click to open rates, which would be an indication of good like email structure and good copy. Some of the patterns that I found that would indicate strong emails would be that they were brief, so they were pretty crisp and to the point. The copy was very value driven, so really sharing what's in it for the end user. And then the last one being that the emails were localized. But there's still a lot of room to improve upon even these like strong email things that we want to remember. So just to start, all email templates need to be updated. So we're super keen to work with the design team to revamp these templates. And I know that we have issues out for that now. And hopefully that would help to also improve our click to open performance. But then going from left to right, other areas of improvements. So for the first email, rather than using one email with two separate CTAs, we could just combine it into one CTA and use dynamic content personalized by region, so that we would share the relevant time zone to the relevant audience. I would also personally try to stick to 3 to 4 bullets as well, and maybe incorporate the live Q&A into the first paragraph, or like before the bullets. The second email, the content was a bit long, so I would recommend shortening it a bit. We can also add a link into the paragraph if we're going to keep it a bit longer, just to vary the formatting a bit. Last one, I can't really speak to the content within the email, but to me it seems a bit long, but I wouldn't know how long it actually is if we were to read it.
Great. And all that makes sense. And we're looking forward to collaborating across the different groups to help improve the content and build stronger click to open and just overall metrics for email. Thank you so much, Ali and Luis, for pulling this together. And we look forward to sharing the July metrics with you next month. Thanks.